Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot1025fm.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot1025fm.com.
No limit to the limit. Welcome to Marriage Bootcamp. No limit to the limit with Robert and Vicky Bell. I thought I told you. No limit to the limit, for better or for worse. No limit to the limit, for richer or poor. No limit to the limit in sickness and health. I thought I told you to love and cherish until death do you part. 1 + 1 =
1.
2 is bigger, but it's
still 1.
1 1,000, but 2
10,000.
Team Bell, Rob and Vicky Bell, Hot 702.5.
We out. Welcome to Marriage Bootcamp with Vicky and Robert Bell on Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Marriage Bootcamp. I'm your co-host, Vicky Bell. Marriage Bootcamp / Marriage Warfare. We want to welcome you. This is a platform created for those who are seeking and thriving for a marriage mindset. This is I would say a platform for the foundation of building your marriage, strengthening and thriving in your relationship. We're two divorcees that came together and experienced different conferences, read different books. We've experienced different things where we've just felt like Marriage Bootcamp needed to be the place where we could address everyday practical issues that come up in a marriage that aren't necessarily addressed in the church or in public settings where you would have Christian marriage conferences. We thought this would be the place for you because years ago, 28 years ago, when we were married, there was no social media, there were no podcasts. It wasn't in the palm of your hand. You had to actually write checks and pay for conferences and go stay in hotels and all of that. So it wasn't free and it wasn't right in the palm of your hands. So right now, that's why we have Marriage Bootcamp / Marriage Warfare, hopefully to help with those everyday practical concerns. Robert and I, Robert is my co-host of 28 years, my husband. It's our intention that maybe our experiences or experiences and our resilience in marriage that we can share, because we're not a perfect couple, but maybe what we've experienced we can share and maybe help you avoid those pitfalls, or maybe just something that's said to just say, maybe you could tweak it or use it in your relationship. But right now, I just want to introduce my co-host, Robert Bell.
Good afternoon, Lady Bell. How are you today?
I'm good.
It's always great being here beside you. You said today, you said mindset.
Yes, a mindset.
Mindset, a marriage mindset. And I grabbed the definition of mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That established set of attitudes
right
held by someone.
Yeah, reason why I say mindset, because when you're single for so long, and you're growing up and you're in your 20s, your 30s or whatever, you think like a single person. But when you become married, you have to come up with that married mindset. You have to talk to your husband. You have to talk to your spouse about different things. It's not when you make a decision, that's it. You have to make that decision with your husband, and you have to grow and develop into that oneness. It's not a single mindset anymore. You're thinking for two.
Oh, so that's what marriage mindset. Going from having a single mindset.
Right.
I'm tired of being single. I want to get married. I'm tired of being by myself. I want to be married.
And you can, and that's great. But when you say I do, that's when you say I will take on a marriage mindset. Well, you should, because if you don't, now you're just opening up a can of worms. You have so many problems because you said, as from a female's perspective, you said I do, and now you did, but you're still thinking single, and that's not good.
Because you had a set of attitudes, so now you got to change.
To develop a marriage mindset.
You got to change those attitudes. And attitudes when you hear people say attitudes, they think it's something bad.
No, it's not always a bad thing.
So you got to change those attitudes from a single mindset to a married mindset.
And when I say single mindset, because women today, myself included, when you're single and even being a single mom, you have that independent. You're an independent woman. That's a thing. Miss Independent. It's a song.
Right.
And it's okay. But you still have to have that marriage mindset. You have to confer with your husband because you're not single anymore.
Now you got to talk to somebody.
You got to talk to somebody.
You want to, we rush. We want to get married. I want to get married. I don't want to be single no more. But I don't know. See, Lady Bell, there we go again. We thinking, we're gonna have to get Kim on here because Kim, KC. I'm talking about KC. Kim.
Oh, okay.
She's a divorcee and she's been single for a while, and now she done wrote this book on dating in 2025.
Yeah, she did.
So after being, she's our age.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've been out the game for so long.
Yeah.
A lot of things we might not be able to relate to, or we thinking 25 years ago how things was.
Yeah, because when we were dating, there were no social media. The answer machine had just really got popular.
The answer machine.
I thought it was cool because you had a pager.
Oh yeah, it was cool then. I thought, and if we wanted to get a message from each other, you had to go home and go to the answer machine and see, did she leave a message? Did he leave a message? Did anybody leave a message?
Walk through the kitchen door and see if the light was blinking.
See if the light was blinking. How things have changed. So, so we need to maybe get KC on here so she can say how things don't change for her.
Yeah.
Being single all these years, update us on some things. Because we looked at that show. You talking about the married mindset. We looked at that show on The Later Daters.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed about that because, a lot of those people was like our age.
Yeah.
And to see see the mentality of some of these. I don't think some of them were really ready to get married.
If you haven't heard about the show Later Daters, Michelle Obama was the producer on that, wasn't she? The executive producer.
Netflix special.
Was a Netflix special.
So if you over 50 and you still out there on the scene, dating scene, and you trying to get married, you might want to tune into that. Yeah. But as Lady Bell was talking about a married mindset, today we want to talk about the ups and downs and the myths of the marital myths. The things that you hear, the little cliches, the things that you taught, the things your mama said, the things your grandmama told you, the thing that your daddy told you. A lot of times, Lady Bell, your parents used to always say, do what I say, not what I do. Is that what they used to say?
Do what I say, not as I do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But most of the time, we learn from what we see.
Yeah.
We pick up more from what we see. I always say, look for the results.
Yeah.
A lot of times we get caught up on hearing what people say. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this. Okay, do it. Mm-hmm. You being a wife, and I told you I'm going to do this, and that. You're looking to see, Rob, you told me this. Even after our vows, even after we took our marital vows, you told me, even after you made some vows, you had some addendums. Mm-hmm. We made some additional promises.
Right.
And one a simple promise was, Rob promised we'll go on vacation once a year. So I think and we don't been on vacation once a year, every year for 28 years. Yeah. Every year we don't been on vacation. Okay. More than one in some years.
Yeah.
So, so it's not always, people are more watching. So, we hear things about you ready to get married and, you have your little bachelorette party, you have your bachelor parties, and your fellas is giving their last words of encouragement. They giving their last words of advice. They throwing that last minute of doubt in. Do you sure you want to do this? Marital myth. You sure you want to carry around that old ball and chain? Marital myth. You sure you want to give up singlehood? Mm-hmm. You sure you want to be married? So today we want to talk about some of those things that you hear, some of those things that you heard, those marital myths, those marital tradition things that we have heard. And we just going to run through a few things that, and it might be some new things that's in the atmosphere now that's out there. But these are some of the things that we think are common that you hear people say when it comes to getting married.
Yeah.
And I think we went over this one a couple of weeks ago, Lady Bell. But what's that old one, that old famous one we hear?
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. That's a marital myth.
Yeah, what it means though is if a husband's happy, that the husband happiness depends on his wife being content, and that's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure to put on a man.
And shame on the wife for putting that kind of pressure on a man.
That if you want to be happy, I must be happy. Your only goal is, my goal is to make you happy. Your goal is to make me happy, but my happiness shouldn't be dependent on me making you happy.
Exactly.
Because sometimes it almost feels like I can't do this, I can't do that because it's not going to make her happy. She's going to be disappointed. She's going to be upset. She's going to be mad. So like you said a couple weeks ago, an individual cannot be walking around on eggshells trying to make you happy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. You spent, and we're talking about, I heard somebody say a few weeks ago, see, that's why, when we give our opinions and our advice, and these are just our answers, I don't take this stuff lightly. Mm-hmm. Lady Bell, I'm always, I take responsibility for my words. Mm-hmm. I take responsibility for what I put out there. Mm-hmm. I take responsibility for what I tell you. Mm-hmm. So I don't take my words lightly. So I heard a dude in the pulpit says, it ain't your job, it ain't your wife's job to make you happy. It ain't your husband's job to make you happy. Now, let me clarify this, Lady Bell. Now, that's different from happy wife, happy life. Because happy wife, happy life gives me the thing that only the wife had to be happy. Mm-hmm. Happy wife, happy life. Mm-hmm. But it is my job to make you happy. It's your job to make me happy. Ice cream, chocolate ice cream, make me happy. Mm-hmm. Chocolate ice cream with crushed Oreo cookies make me happier. Vanilla ice cream is cool, but chocolate ice cream makes me happy. It is your job to make me happy. It's not your job to make me happy to a degree. It's not my job to make you happy to a degree. Then when somebody get divorced, what's the first thing they say? I'm not
happy.
I'm not happy anymore. That would suggest that I'm responsible for some of your happiness. Mm-hmm. Help me, Lady Bell. Would that suggest I'm responsible for some of your happiness?
Well, when you talk about making happy, like for me, when I read happy wife, happy life, I think my mind goes to that a young man or a husband is trying to do everything he can to make her happy. Like if she's in the mall and she sees something that she wants to buy and she come home, now he feels like he has to go buy it, that type thing. Now, as far as making, like just general day to day, they should, you should make each other happy. I mean, because that was the interest. That was part of your interest in dating. You must have made each other happy. You said, I do, you did. And so now here we are. But when I read happy wife, happy life, that's what I'm thinking, that, whatever she sees that she wants to buy, if there's a trip she wants to take, if there's a house she wants to buy, a certain car she wants, I guess my mind went toward material things. That's where I went.
And to a degree, that is. Most of the time, making a wife happy is, a lot of times, I would like this, I would like that, from a man's point of view. And then, happy wife, happy life, you get scared to the point where you don't want to say no.
But see, that shouldn't be.
And I have no problem with, I was telling the young man, he was like, well, I love spoiling my wife. I said, that's great. I love spoiling my wife. But once you start... It's okay to spoil her. It's okay to spoil her. But once you start, my wife was the only child until she was 15.
13.
She was the only child. Well, you were still your daddy's only child.
Yeah.
So she was spoiled. She was her daddy's only child. She was, what about your granddaddy? You weren't the only grandbaby till your granddaddy, was you?
Yeah. My mother was the only child.
No, I'm talking about your father. I'm talking about your father's on your father's
Oh
side.
no, it was me and
Right.
David.
But
It
you
was
was
just
all,
me.
but you was always with, because I seen all the pictures of you and your grandfather.
Yep.
So on your father's side.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I know you was the apple of his eye too. So I knew from the get-go she was spoiled. I mean, every Christmas her father would buy her something gold, a gold necklace. Every birthday he would buy her something gold. I mean, so Jesse could do no wrong. So she was already spoiled. So to a degree, you know, it is about sometimes spending money, but not at the expense of putting yourself in financial ruin, not at the expense of you're killing your budget.
Right.
Yeah, make her happy, but our rule is happy spouse, happy house, and everybody has to have a degree of happiness up in here. Is it my responsibility to make her happy? Yes. Is it her responsibility to make me happy? Hell yeah. Okay, everybody. But everybody's going to be happy up in this joint. What do you mean it ain't your wife's responsibility and to make you happy? And you married her? Who told you that? Lady Bell, this is another good one. I like this one here. You know, when we first got married, you know, every time we would see an old couple, listen, young dude, listen, young husband, listen, young fella. Every time I would see a old dude that been married 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, I will always say, or when we see a couple that been married all the time, we would say, give us some advice. And of course, you heard that a lot. Happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
You heard that a lot.
Yes.
And we would just throw that out the window. Eat the meat and throw away the bones. That was all bones. We didn't even eat. Happy wife, happy life. And this was another thing the men would say. Just say
yes.
Yes, who?
Just say yes, dear.
Just say yes, dear. Is that crazy? Just say
so.
yes. That goes back to happy life, happy wife. Just say yes. And then now here we are. Excuse me. Here we are, bought this big old house we couldn't afford because that's what she wanted. Yes, dear. We can make it work. We can get it. And then you got this man working 2 or 3 jobs, and then now you mad because he at work all the time because he said because all he said was yes, dear.
Yeah, and now I'm sure that with him saying yes, dear, now he's building up resentment because, like you said, now he's got to work all these jobs and try to get this house and all that. You know, this reminds me of a story. I don't usually tell these stories, but there was this house. Robert and I, we were looking to buy a house, and I wanted this house so bad. All I could see was just, you know, the house. And
exactly what I'm about.
I was like, "Oh, Rob, we need to get this house." Oh, and it was like, "It's in your neighborhood with your family," and this house, and it was just built, and it was just so wonderful. Man, I'm so glad we didn't buy that house. I don't know what to do. I was so glad I listened to my husband. I do not know what to do. I was sitting in the living room, in the kitchen reading the paper.
And I almost gave in though.
I'm so glad you did it. And you know what? It set the precedent and the tone for respect because Rob was like, "No, Vicky, I just don't feel this is the house for us." And I was like, "For real? Oh my gosh." Well, it wasn't the house for us. We got a much better house than that.
Much better
Deal. But when he made decisions down the road, that set the tone to whatever he said. I was like, well, whatever you say, because I had that experience.
But I think, your thing was, I think you got caught up in that house sentimentally because it was in my old neighborhood. It was a new house, they was building new houses there. So you thinking like, well, we in the neighborhood. His parents is right across the bridge. His other sisters and them was here. And, we in the neighborhood. I think you just got emotionally attached to the house. When I'm like thinking, I just knew something wasn't right.
I'm so glad I went.
And lo and behold.
Oh, Lord. That was.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Oh, so I guess that's why. And a lot of people feel like I might be, really passive, but it's because experiences like that where I actually listen to my husband. Now, here's one. A family that prays together stays together.
Ooh, a family that prays together stays together. Marital truth or marital myth?
I think it's to some degree marital myth because you can have a lot of praying people that have gotten married and have gotten. Look at all the bishops and pastors that have gotten divorced.
Well,
Didn't they pray?
The divorce rate, the current divorce rate is 58% right now. 58%. That's among non-church going people and church going people.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I say non-going church going people and church going people? Because I'm assuming that a family that prays together stays together. I'm assuming that the church going people are
praying.
Mm-hmm. So if their rate of divorce is the same rate of non-church going people,
Mm-hmm.
so do a family that prays together, stays together. In my first marriage, I prayed.
Mm-hmm.
I prayed. Went to church, paid tithes and offering, did all the things.
Mm-hmm.
But did we stay together? No, we didn't stay together. So is that a marital truth or marital myth?
I think it's a marital myth.
Just because you praying, you know, after what I would say, after you done reading your spiritual word,
Mm-hmm.
whatever your spiritual belief is, once you done reading, once you done doing that, once you done reading self-help books,
Mm-hmm.
once you done reading motivational books, once you're done praying,
Mm-hmm.
then what?
Right.
Praying is easy,
Right.
Vicky. Now this is the hard part.
You got to put in the work.
You got to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you pray, God make him a better husband. God ain't bewitched. God ain't genie out the bottle, and you're gonna get 3 wishes. Well, make him a better husband, and I'm gonna change. God ain't bewitched. He gonna wiggle his nose, and I'm gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
No, you gotta tell after you pray, Rob. I don't pray for this.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to decide if I'm going to do right or not, if I'm going to do better or not.
Mm-hmm.
A family that prays together stays together.
Well, like I said, look at all the pastors.
Right. I told you when I got divorced
with social media?
when I got divorced years ago, Lady Bell, you know how they treated me. You know how they treated me when I got divorced. Like I said, divorce wasn't popular.
Mm-mm.
You know, I won't say it wasn't popular, but a lot of times, and still today, people get divorced. We see it among our friends and loved ones and everybody and family. When people get divorced, when they start going to issues, they hide themselves.
Yeah, they do.
You know, if we hanging out and doing this and this, and like every time you hang out, if you got your little core group or you got your little circle, and every time you do something, and then Keisha and Tyrone ain't come. Hey, you know, you sent the invite or the invite, they come, they say they coming, but then they don't show up. And then that thing, you know, realize it's been 6 months and Tyrone and Keisha ain't came to none of the functions.
Mm-hmm.
And then you call and be like, yo, Tyrone, what's up?
We
Man,
separated.
y'all separated.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did that happen?
Yeah.
You know, you see them in church one week, then the next week you don't see them, and then they spotty come into church, and then you don't see them, and it's like, and you see them on the altar getting prayed for, and then boom, they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one, Lady Bell.
What's that?
Marital truth or marital myth? Don't go to bed angry.
Never go to bed angry.
Don't go to bed angry.
See, this is tough, though,
No,
because it suggests that, you know, couples should resolve their arguments before they go to sleep, and that's just not practical
It's just
sometimes.
not practical. Hey, can I throw a little bit of Bible in there?
Yeah.
The Bible says, be angry. You're allowed to be angry.
Mm-hmm.
Be angry, but sin not.
Yeah.
Be angry and sin not.
Right.
Be angry and come to an understanding. This ain't over.
Yeah.
See you in the morning. See you when you get off work. But we must finish this
discussion,
this disagreement, this argument. This argument. I ain't gonna, remember we had them friends that always say, we had a disagreement. And I would say, Negro, y'all was arguing. we heard y'all always, oh no, we just have disagreement. Okay, that's what you want to label it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to label it, we had a disagreement. Whatever, disagreement, discussion, argument. We gonna finish it in the morning. You hear them couple, we never go to bed angry. Okay. Listen, young couple, get away from them when they talk about we never go to bed angry.
Yeah. Because now you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself that doesn't need to be. Because it's not practical.
Don't let the sun go down on your wrath.
Yeah.
No, in one term it says, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. But then another scripture says, but joy comes in the morning. So at the sun come down on our disagreement, at the sun come down on our discussion, at the sun come down on our disagreement, maybe after a good night's rest, maybe joy cometh in the morning, and somebody can turn over and say, I was wrong. I'm getting emotional, Lady Bell. I was wrong. I apologize. You might roll up in the morning and say, I was wrong. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
But marital myth, you do go to bed angry some of the time, but be angry and sin not.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cuss me out. I won't cuss you out.
Mm-hmm.
You keep your hand to yourself. I keep my hand to myself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't talk about my mama. I won't talk about your mama. Be angry, but sin not.
Yeah.
Joy cometh in the morning. If not, I see you when I get home from work. We gotta talk, girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my dad. When we was running the business together, and you run the business from home, and we have a disagreement. We have a disagreement in the morning. Now, see, y'all talking about y'all want to be entrepreneurs and work together. We worked together in my business for like 12 years. We working together, and I know how to change hats.
Yeah.
I know how to go from husband to boss to this. I know how to change hats. So all day long, I'm out there on the field. She at home in the office, and I'm calling. Do this, do that, do that. Did you do this? Did you make that call? Did you print this? They said they didn't get this. They didn't get this. And then I get home. Hey, baby, what? You think you gonna yell at me all day and come home and baby me?
Mm-hmm.
See, so I had to learn how to be more respectful, even though I'm like, oh no, I know what straighten that out. When my godmama told me,
yes.
I was like, me and Vicky going crazy over here. We running this business, and and every day it's an argument when I get home, and she was like, well, my godmama said, I don't talk to Vicky. She said you yell at her all day. And then you want to come on. I said, well, she needs to learn how to change hats. What did she tell me? Is she your co-owner, or is she an employee? I said, she's an employee. And she said, well, didn't she leave her job? I was like, yeah, she left her job. Well, you need to pay her salary. Listen, young man, you want to start a business with your wife and y'all co-owners and all of that. It's your business, and you have to be. We talking about that thing, submitting yourself one to each other, respecting each other. And this business atmosphere is, I gotta talk to you just like I would talk to John on the job if me and John was co-owners. I'm not gonna call John yelling at him. I'm not gonna call John fussing at him. So if you're a young couple thinking about getting into business, always we mentioned that thing about submitting, wives submit. First of all, it says submitting yourself one to another.
Right.
So you got to submit yourself and be respectful in that area.
Hey, before you move on, never go to bed angry, and you were talking about arguing and things like that. This reminded me of something that our aunt and uncle shared with us. When people are arguing, and if you feel like the argument's going to get heated, go to a public place, and their thing was to go to coffee shops.
Right.
So and back home, they had a lot of coffee shops.
Right.
So they knew every coffee shop in the neighborhood. And that's where they used to have conversations that they felt like was going to get heated, but they can maintain, their control and their composure. So just a nugget there. If you feel like you're going to have one of those conversations, go to a public place.
And that was
park.
It was great for us, but it was great advice. If y'all know y'all got a situation going on, y'all got a problem going on that's going to get heated. Mm-hmm. Maybe y'all want to go to it because we can get cuckoo at home. Yeah. We can get cuckoo at home. So if you want to maintain dignity and respect and all of that, go to a coffee shop.
Right.
But see, I talk loud.
Yeah.
I talk loud regardless. So
yeah, that didn't quite work for us.
Yeah, that didn't quite work for us.
But it may work for somebody else.
Because
we tried.
Even at this level, I think, am I cool right now? I think even at this level, the whole restaurant would still hear me and be like,
yeah.
So that really didn't work for us. So they thought it was World War III over there anyways because oh my God, that man is so loud and she's so nice and quiet and sweet over there. But I like that. Don't go to bed angry. I mean, you said go to a coffee shop or a public place, a park or whatever, mm-hmm. and I'll say that for later. I like this one, Lady Bell. These are just the common ones we hitting to before we get to the other one. Love is enough, or love is all you need.
Yeah. No. You need a little bit more than just love.
Love is flaky.
Yeah.
Love is flaky. Because, Lady Bell, you can love anybody. Mm-hmm. I love this, I love that. I just talked about loving ice cream. Mm-hmm. I talked about, I love St. Martin. I love certain things. But love is flaky. Mm-hmm. I can love you today and now I see why the Bible says love your neighbors. It's easy because I ain't got to deal with my neighbors every day. Love everybody. I see why the Bible say love everybody. I ain't got to deal with everybody every day.
Yeah.
It's easy to show love. Mm-hmm. It's easy to show human kindness when I ain't got to deal with you every day.
Yeah, and I think too, in a marriage, like we've been married together a long time, we've gone through, we're aging. We've aged. We've gone through, all of that sickness and health and all of that. So, it takes love, compassion. It's a whole lot.
It takes like. It takes like. I know them days when you ain't loving me, but you still like me. I say something crazy. I crack a joke or something. I'll do a dance. Or I'll just do something. You'll see me fixing something. And you'll be like, there go that man being Jack. Mm-hmm. And that light could kick in. But them days like, ooh, them days where, I know you don't love me, but you like me. So you need more than just love. You got the like, and you need respect.
Yeah.
You need respect. I know a whole lot of people, hey, you can keep your love, respect me. Mm-hmm. When dudes complain about she don't respect me, she say she love me, but she don't respect me. Mm-hmm. No, wife, you got to respect that man.
Yeah,
you got to respect that man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how you love him and you don't respect him?
Mm-hmm.
I might not. We talked about I might dislike what you did. I might dislike what you said. Mm-hmm. I lost respect for you for that moment because of this situation or circumstance. But I just can't constantly disrespect you. And then there's another one. Keep peace at all costs. All these are falling in line, Lady Bear. Keeping peace at all costs. Happy wife, happy life. You can't keep peace at all costs because you trying to make a happy wife, happy life. It might cost you too much. Buying a house you can't afford, buying all them fancy clothes you can't afford. Doing this. Doing this for let's get a kid. We talked about fancy weddings. These birthday parties they giving for kids now.
Yeah.
Remember that birthday party we went to?
Yeah.
Remember we went to the little kid. Hey, y'all, this little kid turned 8 years old. He turned 8 years old, and the party was at Dave and Buster's. And I think this is probably we hadn't been to Dave and Buster's in 15 years. And Dave and Buster's is expensive for an 8-year-old party. By the time you eat and drink and buy game, we did the virtual reality thing a few times, and then to play games. Boy, that was one another. And then everybody gave this little 8-year-old gifts, and he opened up the gift. We from old school. He's opening up the gift. And everybody gave him cash. Mm-hmm. He got a $50 bill in this envelope, another $50 bill, then a $100 bill, then another $100 bill, then another $50 bill, then $75, and then he got the R card, and our card had $8 in it.
He said, "Really, Uncle Rob?"
Really, Uncle Rob? Hey, and he was stuffing all the 50s and hundreds in his little stack. He put my $8 back in the car. He put my $8 back in the car and put the card down. No, you can't peace at any cost. No. Yeah, peace is gonna cost you, but not at any cost.
Yeah.
You gotta have. We talking about peace at any cost. We talking about working together. And my daddy always told me, a worried man cannot work. Mm-hmm. If a man is worried about what's going on at home, a man is worried about what his wife doing or ain't doing, a worried man is at work pacing. Mm. A worried man is and nowadays they always in the corner on the cell phone. They always texting back and forth. A worried man cannot work. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, we would have our disagreements in the morning, and remember, I would leave. We'd talk about this when I get home, mm-hmm. and I would leave, storm out the house, jump in my truck, take off. I wouldn't even get up the street because a worried man can't work. I can't go to work being in disagreement with this woman. I would turn around, and if I was wrong, okay, we need to get this straight before I leave. I got 5 minutes. I was wrong. If she was wrong, I would go back. You are wrong. Remember them days? Look, girl, you wrong. But I'm apologizing for you at this moment because I need peace when I go to work. I can't be at work worried about that I'm still mad at you. I ain't got time to be calling you every 5 minutes. I ain't got time to be texting you every 5 minutes. So let me clear the air now before I get out here. Mm-hmm. So, so peace at any cost. Yeah, it's going to cost you something, but don't let it financially. Not only, when we talk about this stuff, when we talk about finance, emotional, you can go emotionally broke trying to keep somebody happy.
Oh, yeah.
You talked about the stress, high blood pressure and the things that come with that and migraine headaches and all of that. So, yeah, it'll cost you.
I've got one.
Go ahead.
I have a myth. Children strengthen a marriage.
Children strengthen the marriage.
And you touched on that in another previous podcast where so many times people, as soon as they get married, you look up and they're having kids and they don't even know each other. But they believe this myth that children will strengthen a marriage. In actuality, is adding stress. Because now you got this additional responsibility of Pampers and Similac, daycare. Oh my God, daycare. I can't even imagine what people are doing to pay these daycare expenses now. So you have that on top of everything else, and you barely even know each other.
Now, what was that? What was that marital myth?
Children strengthen a marriage.
Now I have a baby. It will make you closer.
Yeah, parenting often adds stress to a relationship.
You mentioned the fact that a young couple get married. Let's say they don't have any kids and they have kids, but what about the thing where have a baby? It'll make you closer. You're a blended family.
Yeah,
you're a blended family. You was like, well, this one baby will blend all of us together, and you think that'll make you closer. You gonna tell the same story I was gonna tell? I'll let you tell it.
Well, you're better story.
You tell it.
We were at a marriage.
I'll jump in.
We were at a marriage conference, and And I was so excited about this marriage conference because they had a class on blended families. So Robert, not being a blended family and always going to marriage conference, this is the first conference that we had ever attended where they actually had a class on blended families. So
because the pastor
had married someone with children, but he had no children. So they really weren't truly a blended family because he didn't have anything to blend. But back to the story, this particular workshop was very stressful. You could feel the tension in the air. People were standing up saying things.
Hold on, let me say something. You could feel the tension in the air because you got to remember this was a session. This was a session on blended family. So most of the couples in there were blended family because you could just tell by the people because it was a question and answer session, and you can just tell by the question that was being asked that it was a blended family. So we're bringing this up now because you had said your question, your myth, your truth or myth was what? Do a baby?
Children strengthen a marriage.
Children strengthen a marriage. Mine was have a baby, it'll make you closer. So you gonna finish it? I'm gonna finish it.
I'll go ahead and finish. So this one guy, he stood up and he said, I hate her children and her children hate me. And she hate my children. And the pastor who was facilitating this workshop stood up and said, well, what will blend your family together is if you all have a baby together. He
told these people, after this man stood up and said, I hate her kids and her kids hate me. My kids hate her and she hate my kids. And this man of the cloak, this man in the pulpit, this dude behind the pulpit and the altar told this couple, you all need to have a baby. It'll make you all closer.
I am not.
Vicky literally had to grab me because I wanted to stand up and say, you sound like a complete idiot.
And it was at that point where I really wanted to say, now you just need to sit down and me and Robert right now are going to take over this class. And I think that for that moment right there, that's when I was just, okay, marriage boot camp, here we come. Because I thought the tension, just the tension in the room alone. But then when he got up and said that and she said that, and that was your advice to them?
But we forgot something. As they were saying that, you can hear all the other couples. You can hear other couples. Yeah, we feel the same way. Yeah. Amen. Yeah. I'm like, what? I mean, you could just feel the whole vibe in that session was everybody was agreeing that, I hate her kids. Me and my wife married too. I hate her kids and her kids hate me. That was, and this is what this dude said. Have a baby. Now, keep in mind, I want to say we were probably 40 at the time. I want to say we was 40. No, we weren't 40. No, we weren't 40.
We were in our late 30s.
Because I think when we met him later, we were 40.
We were in our 40s.
So I'm going to say
mid-30s maybe?
Yeah, we was probably, So we was mid-30. Let's just say I was 33, and I want to say this pastor was probably 25. So I'm like, and I really didn't want to go to the conference because I think, he young, this dude, all due respect. I'm like, this young dude can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
And that foolishness, what he said.
Yeah, that did it.
Here was this 25-year-old dude married to a woman with 2 kids, sit up and tell this room full of mad, angry couples. The one couple said it, but you can tell the whole vibe of the class.
Yeah.
Everybody, a lot of them felt that same. And I'm like, and this the killer part. Years later, the couple that stood up and said that, we met them. We met them. We're going to say where we met them at.
No, we won't.
But we met them, and they were still going to this church.
And invited us to the church.
And I'm like, nah, dude, I'm good on that. And I'm like, he just kept on saying, oh, no, our church needs we need people like y'all. We need people like y'all. I'm like, no, I'm cool on that. So I said, no, I'm cool on your church. I don't want to come to your church. So I was like, no. So I told him about the marriage. We came to the marriage class. We came to the marriage conference and what the pastor had said. And he said, man, I said, this dude stood up and said he hated his wife, and he hated his wife kids, and his wife kids hate him, and my kids hate her, and he was like, man, that was me.
Yeah.
He said, man, that was me.
Yeah, he did.
He said, but we didn't have no baby, but we still working on trying to like each other's kids.
Mm-hmm.
Make a long story short,
they got divorced.
They got all heck broke out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so we
So you know what though, but that kind of brings us to why we come up with these marital myths, because through our journey in marriage, we've seen so much and we've experienced so much, and we've seen a lot of hurt, a lot of people embracing and taking some of these myths to heart, and they've made their marriages get a little the journey is a little bit more difficult than it really had to be.
And spiritual abuse is real.
Yes, it is.
Spiritual abuse is real. That's why I say I jumped to another marital myth, Vicky, because spiritual abuse is real. Your pastor is your spiritual head.
Oh, yeah.
Wives, your pastor is your spiritual head. Spiritual myth or truth. That's a myth. Your pastor is not your spiritual head. Now, if you go to church and he's the pastor of that church, mm-hmm. He's the overseer of that church. He's the bishop of that church. He's the apostle of that church. Mm-hmm. That's where you go and commune together and get the word, get encouragement, get spiritual fulfillment. But it all starts at home.
Right.
Your husband should be teaching you at home, mm-hmm. whatever your spiritual belief is. Your husband should be praying for you at home. Somewhere in the Bible it says, in the Old Testament, it says, some say, not in the Old Testament, but in the New Testament, it said, I suggest women, Paul said, I suggest women to stay silent in the church. Understand, in the old church, Paul was saying that in the old traditional church at his time, the men sit in the, in the synagogue, right. The men would sit in the front, the women would sit in the back, or either they were sitting at the top. Mm-hmm. So when he said, I suggest that women keep silence in the church, because if you had a question, you run the question through your husband. Mm-hmm. And if your husband can't answer the question, then he brings it to the church. Mm-hmm. And then when they have a question and answer time, that's why church should not be a dialogue. It should be a monologue. It should be a dialogue. But they have turned into a monologue, and he says what he wanted to say, and nobody questions what he says. But back then, the men could stand up and say, well, father, priest, whoever was there, I have a question about John 1:1. Mm-hmm. And the priest would give his spiritual answer. Mm-hmm. And then when the husband got home, then him and his family would discuss it. That's why he said, I suggest women to be silent in the church. Because if everybody's asking questions and everybody's doing this, no. Wife, if you got a question, when you get home, you run it through your husband. Mm-hmm. And he should be reading. He should be reading the word. He should be studying to show himself approved. And he can answer your question. He's your spiritual head. He should be praying for you.
And you know what? The advantage that people have nowadays. So if young men, young women, do not be intimidated, because you got the Bible right here in the palm of your hand. You can just open it up and just read it. It doesn't have to be a big production. And you can even Google like different translations that'll make it easier for you.
The Bible, the Quran,
whatever
your spiritual belief is, whatever you trust to believe to be your spiritual foundation. Mm-hmm. And we talking about spiritual things, lady, but the devil is busy. Spiritual truth for men. Oh, the devil is tearing our marriage apart. Oh, the devil is this and the devil is doing that. Mumbo jumbo. The devil, if greater in you it is greater than the world, then how is the devil beating you up so bad? Mm-hmm. If you got this mighty, fierce God standing there before you, that's loving you and got your back, it's like a big brother. Mm-hmm. You know, when this dude jumped on me one time and I went and got my brother said, whoop his butt. That dude could do nothing but stand there and let me whoop his butt because I have my big brother there. So how is the devil beating you up? You got this big old mighty guy not only beside you, but inside of you. Mm-hmm. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world, for my Bible believers and my Bible readers. So how is the devil that busy? When is the devil busy? When y'all arguing and fighting? When is the devil busy? When y'all tired of each other? I can't blame it. If I go out here and kill somebody and I stand before that judge, I said, I can't say the devil made me do it.
No.
They're going to get me evaluated. Then they're going to say, he's competent to stand trial. I can't go out here and sleep with Keisha and come home and tell you, Vicky, the devil made me do it.
No.
Is that going to work?
No.
The devil made me do it.
No.
I didn't want to do it. The devil grabbed me and made me drive all the way across town to Keisha's house. The devil ain't that busy. Quit giving that dude too much credit. Couples don't fight or argue in healthy marriages. Marital truth or myth?
Myth.
That's a myth. Marriage counseling and therapy is a waste of time.
That's a myth.
That's a myth.
I
We
think
like I say, we
seeking commitment that just shows that you're vested
right
in improving in your marriage.
Like I say, we go to marriage conferences. Like we've been here for 12 years, and I think it might have been one church we seen give a marriage conference. If y'all are aware of any marriage conferences, any marriage events that's going on,
Please let us know.
please let us know, because we always attend conferences. We've been attending conferences since we've been married. We don't been to counsel. We don't did family counseling with our children when they were younger.
Yep.
We don't been to marriage counseling several times. Because when you pour out, you need people to pour into you.
Right.
So when we have resolved issues, even though we know we can resolve them, we still want to sit down and get a third opinion. We still want to get an objective opinion. Is that right?
Yes.
That's what we so it's, don't have. There's no shame in going to counseling.
None. That's what
There's
I like
no
about
shame
this
in-
generation.
Get counseling. Get counseling. Get counseling now. Don't wait to the ultimatum. Don't wait till we need to go to counseling or I'm done. Don't wait for that.
Yep. Well, that's about that for
What
this
about
week.
you got a motivational
My motivational moment for this week is no, I don't.
You didn't prepare too.
I didn't prepare to.
Can I throw one out
You
there?
sure can.
Always look for the results. Read. What do you mean, Rob? Read the whole resume. When somebody tell you something, read the whole resume. If they're praying, and after you're done reading the whole resume, look for the results. If they're praying, you should see some results. If they're fasting, you should see some results. If they're going to the gym, you should see some results. If they're dieting, you should see some results. If I'm going to counseling, you should see some results. Read the whole resume and always, always, always look for the results.
All right. Everybody.
Team Bell, you know I am. You know who I'm with, the prettiest one.